SolitaryGamer here. What's up? Welcome to 12th century Damascus and my very first video game commentary slash video mix. Playing a little Assassin's Creed today. We're going to take Altair, the original badassin, and take a little jaunt through the city, cause a little chaos, and climb on one of the more famous structures in real historical old Damascus, the Umayyad Mosque. Now, this Assassin's Creed, and we got Revelations coming up, so Altair is coming back. One of the reasons why I want to bring this out, but this is one of my favorite titles of this generation. I've been gaming for a bit now, and you know, I never thought that a game would drop me into a reimagined city from like 900 years ago. Nope, nope, not that one. Kill the leader. Stay on the leader. And you know, I never thought that I would be able to wander around a market in a city that's like totally full of life and a real population, cross swords with Saracens, and scale wonders of the ancient world. It's pretty freaking awesome when you think about it. And you gotta hand it to Ubisoft. Assassin's Creed, this whole series, it gives you a living world. It's steeped in real historical places. You know, the architecture is based on how it actually would be. It's very rich with detail. The rendering is superb. It has really, really large areas to explore. I mean, I won't lie. I've spent hours just exploring in this game, just for the sake of it. No mission, no purpose, just exploring. And to me, that is how you measure. Oh yeah, I'm getting that guy through the gut. And to me, that is how you measure a sandbox game. Is it fun to explore? You know, story matters, variety of missions, all that stuff matters, but not nearly as much to a sandbox. To me, a sandbox is built on how fun it is to explore. And Assassin's Creed, it's not the only title that does it. There's tons of titles, Red Dead, Infamous. There's a lot of titles this generation that do this. It's not that, you know, Ubisoft is not the only publisher out there making this. Booyah! Oh man, Altair is like Braveheart reincarnate.
Come on! I've much to say. You like what you see?
You know, I like video games a whole lot, and you know, I like to dabble a little bit in film editing. You know, so I thought I could play around a little bit with film cutting and talk about video games and share some stuff with, you know, other people who love games. I mean, I don't know if you're the only person like this. You know, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But in my immediate circle, I don't have a lot of gamers in my immediate circle. You know, I have lots of friends, but they have other interests. So I really wanted to take these experiences and share them online with people who care about them. And you know, what's not to appreciate? I mean, it's absolutely fantastic worlds that we're allowed to play in these days. Worlds from Infamous or the Old West from Red Dead, or look, Damascus. And you know, here's the Umayyad Mosque. There's a brief glimpse there of the Minaret of the Bride, which is what we'll be climbing later. I'm gonna make my way across the rooftops. So I just kind of wanted to get out and rave about this stuff, and especially the single-player experience. You know, single-player experience still matters. Yes, it still matters. It's like people have forgotten about it. I mean, multiplayer was great. It brought something to gaming that needed to be brought, and it's opened up a whole new world of gaming. But single-player is still great, especially for people who just, you know, you only have time, you just want to pick it up, you want to go at your own pace. You know, you don't want to have to wait for a match, so I'm going to take out this guard. One less Saracen. So I want to praise that. So that's what these videos are all about. I'm coming up, what you see in front of me is the Umayyad Mosque. There it is. I'm going to look for a way to climb up on top of it after I take out that guard. And you got to hand it to Ubisoft. They were fantastic with the historical detail. The Saracens, the Crusaders, the guards and stuff. They did a lot of time researching how these guys should look, how they should dress. They speak in different dialects. They speak in Arabic. They speak in German. They speak in French. You'll hear all different kinds of things when you're climbing around. Here I go. I'm going up the south wall. And the thing about this mosque is it actually wasn't a mosque first. It was a church before that. And before that, it was a temple to Jupiter. And before that, it was a temple to an Aramean god, the god of thunderstorms and rain. Habad Rahman, I think is what his name was. And then the Romans came in, they built on top of it, made it bigger and huger. And then the very next thing is that when the Romans converted to Christianity, supposedly they buried John the Baptist in there. And they named it the Cathedral of St. John. Well, then in 684, finally, the Muslims came in. The Umayyad dynasty, I believe. They came in and they reconquered Damascus in the name of Islam. I miss this guy. How do you miss this? You never can miss these guys. Look, I miss these guys. Here's my disclaimer right here. I'm not the super gamer. I'm not super gamer at all. I'm just your average, ordinary Joe. Clearly, you can tell by this gameplay. Nothing super. I just love games. It's got the sound. But this mosque is really incredible. So they came back in. They leveled the old Roman church, the Cathedral of St. John, more or less leveled it, and then began construction of this new mosque, the Umayyad Mosque. And about 1 million denarii. It took like 12,000 workers about like 20 years to finish this. And one of the funny stories is supposedly that after they demolished the original one, they found a hidden cave with a little cathedral inside of it, and inside it was a box. And inside this box, supposedly, was the head of John the Baptist. And the Sultan at the time, Alawid, he essentially what he did was he said, he had them put it underneath where one of the pillars was going to be. And then once the pillar was down, then they put the box underneath it and inlaid it with marble. Which I think is an interesting story. So, in the Umayyad Mosque now, when they finish it, has 3 mosques. There's the western, which has 3 towers. I'm scared of heights. But it has 3 towers. What we're climbing on now is the Tower of the Bride, which was named the Tower of the Bride because the person who donated the lead for the roof of this particular tower was a very rich merchant, and then he married his daughter off to the Sultan. Then there's the Tower of Jesus, and we'll see them here. That is the western minaret, the western tower. There's the dome, and then there with that spire, that was the Tower of Jesus, which according to local tradition says that in the end, near Armageddon, when Jesus returns to the earth, he will come down via the Tower of Jesus to confront the Antichrist there. So there you have it. Mark your calendars, whatever you got to do. If you're looking for Jesus, that's where he's going to land. Damascus, serious. Pickpocket. That is how pickpocketing should be done. So there's a little background right there on the Umayyad Mosque. Kudos to Ubisoft for doing such a fantastic job realizing this. Maybe we'll come back and visit the inside sometime. But now, I'm gonna do a little Saturday night action and pick a fight with some drunks, and hopefully pick a fight with some of these Saracen guards. Unfortunately, we batter each other here. I love these guys. This guy totally whacks me. I cannot get these guys to attack me. It's ridiculous. They just stare right at me. I guess it's a regular Saturday night. Anyways. So, I just think it's amazing in and of itself that we have games this detailed. I saw the possibility of such games. I think the first time I played Tomb Raider, like 15 years ago on PS1, like way back. And, it tried its best to do big 3-dimensional environments of epic adventureness, And to see where we have come in that short time is totally unbelievable. And even more so, I'll date myself here. I think my very first video game, I can think back to my very first video game console. Smashed head. She's going to have to wash those clothes. I'm telling you right there, buddy, because that had to be some splatter action. Yeah. And so I'm thinking back my very first video game system, and I'll date myself. It was Christmas. I was like 9. I remember sneaking out of bed at like 3 a.m. I always woke up at 3 a.m. I don't know. I think it's hardwired into my DNA. Up through the gut, baby. Yeah. So I wake up and I like sneak out of my room. I got a flashlight. I'm like tiptoeing around. I get there and there's Atari 2600 and there's 2 games there: Space Invaders and Combat. I don't know if you remember old Combat or not. So I get this thing out of the box. I read the instructions. I get it all wired up to the big old monster console TVs back in the day. And you know, by like 3:30, 3:45. I am playing away. I am blasting mutants like nobody's. And I will never forget this Christmas. I mean, I played for hours and hours. I think sometime at like 5 or 6. Oh, signature move. I think sometime at like 5 or 6, my brother got up and came in and we started playing together. And we were just back and forth, basically jamming on that thing. I will never forget that. And I think everybody has that first game or that first experience that really opens their eyes, that makes them gamers for life. And maybe that's it. That's the question. That's what I want you to do. That I want you to share that with me. Tell me, what was your very first console? What was your first experience with video gaming? Tell me about it. Leave comments. Tell me what your very first video game was and how you came about it. And because to me it was really special, and I hope yours was as special as I was. So on that note, I think I'm going to wrap this commentary up, my very first, and leave you guys with a little fight action. I'll be posting some more videos soon, so please look for me, Solitary Gaming, Solitary Gamer. Please support the cause, like or subscribe, and let me know, comments, what was your very first video game and the story behind it. Solitary Gamer saying so long, and peace out.
Pay for your sins! Let me live!